So I had a really amazing date planned out today for Valentine's Day, but I decided to call and cancel because it's time once again for another Dark Avenger podcast.
I got something to say, so listen good. Ain't nobody gonna jump on me, cause there's a price that we pay, and I think we should. Why can't people just let me do?
What's going on, everybody? And geez, it's been a while since I've done one of these. I've been meaning to, I've been wanting to, but finally, here we are, and here it is, episode 2 of the Dark Avenger podcast YouTube files. Meaning this episode is fully, exclusively, and only on YouTube. But that might not be the case for the distant future. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, say no more. But anyway, it's been so long since I've been able to sit down and actually do one of these podcasts. I've been wanting to do a Dark Avenger podcast for the longest time, but literally like a domino effect, one thing after another, after another, after another, after another, after another would happen, and I'd have to keep pushing this podcast further and further back, and finally I have the chance to sit down, and honestly, I really do want to work on a way of scheduling or something to make sure that I'm able to do these more often, because I love doing these. Number one, I love doing podcasts. I know a lot of people are enjoying, first of all, you guys are enjoying the podcast I've been posting that used to be on SoundCloud, and now I know a lot of people are really enjoying this. Plus, there's a bunch of other podcasts coming in the future that I keep teasing about, and I have a lot of really exciting stuff to talk about also later on in this episode. But anyway, hopefully you all are having a great beginning to your new year. Things have been kind of crazy since the new year over here. Like I said, things have been busy, one thing literally right after the other. But you know, 2016 was a really crazy year. Like I mentioned in episode 1, I was hoping to be a couple of episodes further along by now. But talking about looking forward to 2017, a lot of really great things are in the works right now. A lot of wheels are turning in the background. But current events-wise, as you guys know, my uncle went into the hospital a couple of weeks ago, and things have kind of been a little bit upside down in the house and with my family because, you know, everybody's going to see him. We were worried because things were good, then they went bad, then they kind of got really bad. When he first went into the hospital, things looked really, really bad. And first of all, thank you all, everybody who's followed me on social media or Facebook. All the well wishes and prayers. The great news is he is now in rehab and things are going great. He should be home soon, which is good because then everything will kind of fall back into a norm because everything will be back to the way it was. So thank you all so much for all the wonderful well wishes. I really appreciate it, and my family really appreciates it. And like I said, the best news is that my uncle will be coming home soon and everything will be back to normal. But also last week I actually took a bit of a trip up, I don't know, would we say up north, technically? Yeah, technically it's up north. I went to go stay with my older brother for a couple of days and his family and had a freaking amazing time. We had some fun. As you guys know, I'm learning bass, so I had my next bass lesson, which I am getting better. I'm really happy about that, and I have to be more consistent with that as well. Like I said, everything's been so upside down. It's all about focusing back on, you know, things that are important and practice, and also work on YouTube, and the comics coming soon, which I'm really excited about that. But the trip was great. Tommy ended up going up to, and we just had a real good time. You know, spent some time with family. It was fun. Hopefully we get to do it again soon. The trip was great. I really don't want to give too many details away, but it was a fun trip, and hopefully the whole family will be able to go up soon and we can go visit. It'll be fun to have everybody together again. But yeah, now, what I wanted to talk about in episode 1 that I couldn't talk about because I was biting my tongue was What the Card. I have been having so much fun with What the Card. I can't express it to you guys enough. As you guys know, I've tried doing card openings on this channel. I've tried doing it on Dark Avenger Inc., which then became Comic Frontline, where I tried again when we started Comic Frontline. I tried to bring cards there, and unfortunately, the videos never stuck because when it comes to card openings, you know, I at first it was a lesson because I thought that maybe it could happen if I started doing it on my channel, like, and along with all the other videos. And Michael actually was the one that's like, no, you can't, you need your own channel for card opening. So it turned out to be, okay, let's try another channel, and we ended up creating What the Card, and it just took off, and it's been a blast. We've been doing videos since November in private. We went public on January 1st of this year. So for the first month and a half, we actually were not promoting the channel at all. We were literally letting the channel build its audience on its own before we started actually promoting it on Frontline and on our personal channels. And I gotta say that we built up a really strong audience before we even made any kind of push for it on Frontline, which was great. I believe we were in the 90s when we finally announced it on Frontline, and I'm really happy with what we've done, and like I said, it's been so much fun. We've done the videos, several times, several card openings, and it was a lot of fun, but unfortunately it just never stuck because we were doing so many other things, and the videos kind of got buried, so it kind of took away from the videos. But now having a whole channel dedicated to it, and especially with this new with Pokemon Sun and Moon, literally just coming out this past month on February 3rd, Sun and Moon drop, which is the new Pokemon card series, or the new base set to the new series that's going to be around for at least the next 2 or 3 years, if not longer, before we get a new base set. What the card couldn't have had better timing. And we've been opening up boxes, we've been opening up just separate packs, we've been doing pack battles with some really great people. We've met so many really nice people in the card opening community, and it's just been it's been a fun trip, because it's always great being a part of the comic book community, and especially working on Frontline. It's always, Frontline is literally the example of how things work perfect and click, and that's the one thing that Comic Frontline has that I love, is the chemistry that we all have with each other, and how the sites run, and how we work together as a group. And again, with What the Card is connected to Frontline, meaning people from Frontline are on there. It's not just me and Mike. I mean, Brant and Lisa are also doing videos. Ellie's in the background. Me and Cindy are doing Yu-Gi-Oh! We're trying that out for a couple of weekends and seeing how Yu-Gi-Oh! Sticks with the channel. We've got so many other things going on with What the Card, and I feel like that's the important thing, was we kept the chemistry with the new channel, and I think people are gravitating towards that, and we're meeting newer people, because now we're not only part of the comic community, but we're part of the card community. And we tried to do a lot of work in the gaming community with Frontline Gaming Zone, and we're still trying. I'm still using Frontline Gaming Zone from time to time to do a couple of game walkthroughs. I'm planning on doing and finishing Resident Evil. For Honor just came out, so I am planning to do stuff with Frontline Gaming Zone as well. But it's a new experience with What the Card, and honestly, it's a really fun one. And again, it's like, I'm not a gambling person. I would never, Vegas and me would never work out, because I don't like gambling at all. But when it comes to Pokemon, it is a form of gambling, because you're getting a blind pack, and you have to guess. You got to open it and hope that you get a good pull or not. So technically, opening Pokemon cards is kind of a way of gambling. You're gambling, you're paying money for a pack, and you're hoping that you get the best pull, but some packs are duds and some packs are good. But I think, that there are several forms of that. I mean, as kids, we've gone through several of those as well, with the blind bags and the blind boxes and whatnot as well. So it's a lighter form of gambling. But yeah, it can still become an addiction easily. But with What the Card, I feel like, it's keeping us at a nice, we're not going overboard. We're kind of at a good pace where it's like Monday through Friday, and it's just so much fun. And it kind of is rejuvenating my interest in Pokemon. I'm really getting back into it, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. That's just it. And it's just having fun. Me and Mike are having a great time. We're having fun pack battling, talking about cards, going crazy when we get a really great pull. That's always the best, when you pull one of those cards that it's hard to find or hard to get, and you just go absolutely crazy. And yeah, I hope you guys have been checking out What the Card. If not, if you like Pokemon, if you like Yu-Gi-Oh, unfortunately we only do Yu-Gi-Oh once a week if you like Yu-Gi-Oh, but if you like Pokemon cards, we've been covering a lot of that. We cover it, like I said, every day of the week. And right now, as I'm recording this podcast, we're actually celebrating our 100 subscriber goal. Like, we had a goal when we started the channel to hit 100 subscribers. We hit that 100 subscriber mark. We've gone far beyond that already. And now our next goal is a million. Yeah, I wish it was a million. No, our next goal is 1,000. And that's basically just adding another zero. When we get to 1,000, we're going to add to 10,000. When we get to 10,000, 100,000. That's just how we're going to do it. And every zero we add, we're going to do another celebration. So we're celebrating 100 subscribers now, and then we're going to be waiting until we make it to 1,000. I mean, maybe when we hit 500 subscribers, we might do something not as extreme, but something to celebrate the halfway mark. But we're not going to really have a full-fledged celebration until we hit that 1,000 subscriber mark. So hopefully, if you haven't already, you'll come check out What the Card and see if you enjoy the videos we post, because we work really hard on there, just like we work hard on Frontline, just like we work hard everywhere. And that's one of the things that I'm working on this year, is really, instead of adding to what I'm doing already, I'm looking to just expand and build on what I have already and not add anything on unless I'm taking some stuff off. And What the Card was literally, I'm just going to make that statement because What the Card is new, but I made that statement after creating What the Card. So What the Card was the limit of things new that I was going to add. So anything from that point on, if I'm going to add anything new, I'm going to take something away first, and I'm just going to build on what I have already. And that's what I'm doing. That's what 2017 is. It's literally taking every single thing I have now and building on it. So What the Card, Comic Frontline, podcasting, everything that I'm already involved in, and not adding any more craziness to it. And one thing I gotta say for 2017 is a lot of building has already gone on. For those of you that have been asking for a Chris and Brand show, it has happened. Me and Brand have done our first episode. It's already on Comic Frontline. We're already thinking about our second episode. There are other I don't want to tease too much yet, because there is a couple of podcasts that I'm going to talk about. But anyway, one topic I really wanted to talk about, because I've seen a few people talking about this, and I actually bookmarked this last week, was, the topic of YouTube has been, a hot topic right now with a lot of people, whether it be subscribers, with the glitch going on with YouTube and people losing subscribers, or, how to break into YouTube, or the concept of YouTube, just general stuff. But one comment, and I'm not going to say that the comment this person made me grr, I hate this person for saying this, or this person doesn't know what they're talking about. No, it's just, it's a misconception, I believe. And it's just something I wanted to address. And then on top of that, there was another comment made later on that I wanted to also make mention of. Because, okay, with YouTube, there's a misconception of it's a free website where you upload videos for free and you make them for free. And this whole topic came up when I was watching another YouTuber, and towards the end of their video, they started talking about another popular YouTuber who has a donate button, and underneath it, there's like a list of, if you give this amount of money, they'll do one thing. If you give that amount of money, they'll do another. And there's nothing wrong with a donate button. I have a donate button on my channel. What the Card has a donate button on its channel. Comic Frontline has a donate button on its channel. And for me especially, and you guys know this, any money that's donated to me goes directly back to you guys, because I take that money and I don't put it in my pocket. I literally put it back into the channel. Same thing with What the Card, same thing with Comic Frontline. If What the Card gets money, we put it right back into buying cards. If Comic Frontline gets the money, we put it back into doing stuff on our channel or around our channel, or stuff that we start doing on Comic Frontline, whether it be the podcast or what have you. We always put back into our channels. None of the money that's donated to us, and none of the money that I get donated to me, would ever go into anything but what it's meant for, which is the channel. That's why we put the donate button on the channel. And number one, I'd be thankful regardless how big or how small the amount. I'm grateful for whatever I got, and I thank you guys. I don't have a hierarchy or anything when it comes to donations, and anyone who would ever donate money, I would thank a million times over, even if it was just for a couple of bucks. But this person had a hierarchy, and this person who was talking about that person's like, it's a free website where you do videos for free and you make them for free. And the truth of the matter is, half of that statement is not true. Yes, it's a free website. Yes, you can upload videos for free. However, making videos is anything but free. Regardless how much or how little you put into your videos, it still costs money in some shape or form, whether it be the internet access, the tools you use, be it web camera, video camera, digital camera, heck, cell phone. That still costs money. And let's pretend for a moment you're a kid living at home under the age of 18. I'm not going to give a specific age, but under the age of 18 living with your parents. It still costs your family money to pay for the internet, to pay for the stuff that you're using for the internet. So in some shape or form, regardless who's paying it, someone's paying it, and that's just a bare minimum. Now let's take it a step further. If you want to make better videos, you want to buy an editing program. So there's an editing program. If you do comic reviews, comics cost money. If you open cards, cards cost you money. So any way you look at it, it does cost money to do videos. There's no free unless you literally sit in front of a camera, do not edit your videos, do not do anything. Your parents pay for your internet, your parents pay for your camera. You sit down and look at a camera and just talk to it and then upload the video. Making a video on YouTube is not free. So the statement was made within a community. I don't want to say which community, but one of the two communities I mentioned. So already anything that's open, whether it be cards or reviewed, whether it be comic books, that costs money. Regardless whose pocket it comes out of somebody's pocket. Nobody is getting stuff for free on YouTube unless they have a sponsorship. And when I say a sponsorship, I mean they have to be 100% sponsored. And in the card community, that doesn't happen at all. Full sponsorship never happens. You end up paying for cards. And with the comic books, same thing. There is no full sponsorship. There are companies that do not give review copies away. And still, review copies, you are going to want physical copies at some point. So it's not free. YouTube is not free. And even if you're a vlogger, you want to have the best editing equipment. You want a green screen so you could put a nice background in your background. Or if you're a gamer and you want to have a video camera, gamers have to pay money because you got to pay for the video game. You got to pay for the internet access on the console. You got to pay for a capture card. So no community is it free. It is never free to make videos unless you literally are rich and literally have your family paying the way all the way through. And still, like I said, it costs your family money. Somebody's paying somewhere. So it's not free. It is free to upload on YouTube completely. You can make an account and upload videos 100% for free. But anything after that, as far as making videos, whether it be openings, comic reviews, video games, anything, it's not free. It just isn't. And then a statement that followed was about the time and the effort put into doing videos on YouTube. And again, anything that you have a passion for, anything that you love doing, you know, you have to put a little bit of effort into it. You have to be willing to dedicate some time to whatever that may be, whether it be reviewing comic books, video gaming, opening cards, vlogging, anything that you want to excel in, you have to be willing to put in the time. People who go to college put in the time in a specific subject because that's what they want to do for their career. People who like doing radio spend a lot of time in front of a microphone ripping their vocal cords out in order to, you know, be the best anchor or commentator they can be. Musicians work their butt off in instruments or vocals. Artists work their butts off drawing and painting and what have you. Anything that you love doing or anything that you feel is worth your time doing takes time. And you don't have to dedicate your entire life to it either. You don't have to literally have no life in order to build your YouTube channel and become one of the more popular YouTubers. That's not true at all. And honestly, even the most popular YouTubers today had jobs before they became popular YouTubers. Markiplier, PewDiePie, Lamar Wilson, all of those YouTubers have said it took years before their channels took off to a point where they could leave their job and say, hey, I make videos and I'm making money off of the videos well enough that I don't need to have that job anymore. It's not true. I mean, YouTube for most people is just a lot of fun. For me, I've always known that YouTube was going to be my outlet where I could share my passion, where I could talk to people. And that's one of the most fulfilling things for me, is the ability to talk with people. And that's why I love doing my live shows, and why I like doing comic reviews and now doing the card openings, is meeting people and talking with them and making new friends. That's one of my biggest pluses to YouTube, is all the people and friends I've made throughout the years. Would I like YouTube to be a job? Would I have liked to have made money off my videos? Sure. Would I like to make money off my podcast? Absolutely. I'd be lying if I said I don't want to sit home and make videos and podcasts and make tons of money off of it so I could stay home and literally do this, all day long. But truth of the matter is, you don't. There are a lot of people that make it high up there. I know a lot of people that, I talked to them when they were in the hundreds and now they're in the 100,000s. It's all about the video that clicks and the audience that clicks. And honestly, you can have a life. I spend a certain amount of time every day on videos, editing, and YouTube. And then the rest of my day is spent with my family, with my son, whatever. I do not literally dedicate my entire life to YouTube. I have a set amount of hours where I'll be on YouTube and I'll be writing to people, whether it be watching their videos and commenting, talking with people in messages, talking with people if I'm having a live show, and then I'll spend another little while editing videos or shooting videos. Most of the Pokemon videos we do 5 a week, and that's if only Michael and I are doing all 5 days, which Brant and Lisa have been doing 1 to 2 days a week, which is really great. And I'm really glad that they're having a lot of fun doing it also. That's another plus, is that a lot of people are having fun. See, when I hear from Brant and Lisa that they're loving it and they're getting really deep into Pokemon and they're having a lot of fun with it, that's a huge plus to the channel. Not that the channel is going to reach 1 million subscribers. The fact that we're having fun in the channel is what makes the channel important. But for example, let's pretend that Michael and I are doing all 5 days. We literally take about an hour, set up camera, open or do all 5 videos, and we're done. Video editing takes the snap of a finger. You just add the music, render it, it's done, you upload it, and you don't have to think about it. The whole week is done. That's how we've been doing What the Card for right now. We've literally recorded a whole week's worth of videos in less than an hour, rendered all 5 videos in less than an hour, and uploaded them in less than 5 minutes, because uploading is super quick. And that's it. We don't have to worry about videos on What the Card for an entire week now. Now all we do is focus on answering comments, answering our friends' messages, and writing to other PokeTubers or other YouTubers in general, and just having fun. That's the point. Having fun. That's the key. And that's why the popular YouTubers are where they are now. They had fun. When I started watching Markiplier, he was doing drunk Minecraft with his friends Wade and Bob. And you know what? I freaking loved those videos. And you know what? They were having fun doing it. They didn't care who loved it, who hated it. They didn't put in a huge amount of time, to do it. It literally took an hour to do the video, less than 5 minutes to upload it, and then millions of people watched it. And they had fun. So no, my friend, you do not have to dedicate your life, your entire life, to YouTube. You just have to dedicate your passion, your love for whatever community you're in, because I'm not pointing any fingers anywhere, and you'll be fine. I love writing, and that's why I want to make my career in writing, because I feel like I have a lot of stories to tell, whether it be a comic book, a kid's book, a novella even, or a cartoon or a movie. I feel like I have a lot of stories in me that I would love to share with the world. And if people are interested enough in, standing behind me and enjoying my work and telling me to keep going and supporting my books and wanting to buy more and more, that tells me I'm in the right field and I'm doing the right thing. I love podcasting. I love music. I love doing videos on YouTube, and I love reviewing comics and being a part of, I never in a million years would have ever thought I'd be a part of any type of press. And being a part of comic book press has been the most fulfilling and fun thing in my life. And if I can make money off of any of those things, that's just a plus to the fact that I want to make my career in writing. Writing first, everything else after, but that doesn't mean I don't have a passion for doing podcasts, because if I didn't, I wouldn't be doing this one right now. It doesn't say I don't have a passion for music, because if I didn't, I wouldn't be asking my older brother to teach me how to play bass. Or I wouldn't love singing whenever I hear a song that I know the lyrics to, which, believe me, that happens a lot. And yeah, I love singing too. It's a thing. What can I say? We're a very musical family. Or when it comes to doing videos, I mean, everybody on YouTube has that goal in their mind of, if I can make it, if I make it to 1 million subscribers, it'd be great. I'd love to make it a career. Of course, anyone who goes on YouTube, most people, they shoot for the best, and they just accept, either they'll be happy and they'll, wherever they land, and they keep going, or they won't be and they'll say, okay, maybe I have to do something else, and they go off of YouTube. Me, I'm very happy with where I'm at on YouTube. I'm happy because I've made so many amazing friends, whether it be the people I'm working with on Frontline, the people I talk to in the comments on my live show, the people that I've friended on Facebook that I talk to, the people I've met through other people I met through YouTube, the people I've met through gaming. Lord knows how many times I keep talking about the friends I made. It started with one friend who followed us on Brooklyn Boys, and they introduced us to their friend, who introduced us to their family and friends. The next thing you know, we had a huge clique on Xbox for 5 years before everybody went their separate ways. And we still all stay in contact, just not as close as when we were playing Halo, for example. But, we always talk about wanting to get back together and do Halo again, or do gaming again. And I'd love that too. But the fact is, that's what made YouTube worth it for me. I gained everything I wanted and more. And for other people, that might not be what, their goal is. But, everybody has their own set goals. But personally, I am more than happy. When we joined YouTube a long time ago, I had no idea, honestly, what we were getting into, what was going to happen next. And every day I thank God that we decided to stick around. There were times where, when we first started Brooklyn Boys, that we were like, I don't know, maybe this isn't right for us. Maybe we shouldn't be doing this. And I'm glad whatever force in our brain said, no, you just keep going. You just keep doing what you're doing. I'm glad that we had that drive, because I wouldn't be here today if not for that. And as far as, opening my channel and doing the comics and all the other awesome stuff that, that came from that, Frontline, honestly, and I don't want to give too much away because I have this huge thing I want to say when we get to the 400 comic review, but I will say this. Frontline is what I always dreamed of when I started my comic reviews, what I dreamed of for my comic reviews, and to see it come to life and actually have happened, I wouldn't trade that for the world. I'm beyond happy with that, and that's why, to this day, no matter what, I'm always somewhere on Frontline. I'm always, obviously I'm always doing stuff on What the Card. I'm always around Frontline Gaming Zone. I'm always, with this channel, I've been lacking a bit, but like I said, I'm hoping now to make some type of a schedule where I can get more of these podcasts up and maybe some other fun stuff on this channel again, just to keep the channel active. But it's just been a wonderful trip for me. And that's all I have to say about YouTube and working on YouTube. It isn't free. The concept of free is not happening, and you don't have to dedicate your life. It's just hard work. If you're willing to put in the time and the work for the passion you have, regardless what field it is, then it's not, this is my life, I literally have to live on YouTube. It's not like that. If you love it, then you love doing it, you have a passion for it, and you do it because it's fun. So, it ain't free, but it's damn fun. Period. Now, one thing I want to talk about before I let you guys go, because I've been talking for basically a half hour about this and about all the other things, is I got some fun stuff to talk about. Number one, I know I mentioned I wanted to do It's a Podcast for January. I wanted to bring it back the first month of the year. Unfortunately, that has come and gone. We're in February already. But I do have good news. I have a lineup set up for the first episode back for It's a Podcast, and it should be back very soon. So stay tuned and keep an ear out, because I will have an It's a Podcast episode up soon. I am talking with my niece Bravo, and we are working on an idea for the anime podcast, which we are bringing back. It will not be Anime Weekly, of course, like I said, but we are coming up with a few really cool ideas where it's going to mix. I don't want to tease. I don't want to spoil too much, but I'll tease that it mixes old with new, and it keeps our passion for anime strong. Let's leave it at that for now. I'm really excited for the new layout for the anime podcast, and I'm really happy to have It's a Podcast coming back. Lord knows for a really long time I've wanted to have It's a Podcast back. I tried a few concepts, in my head, a few outlines in my head. Nothing worked. I'm just glad to have a straight up comic podcast, me solo, maybe have some guests on from time to time coming back again. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then I'm going to tease this one completely, because at first I was going to make the announcement about it, but after talking with person, I'm not going to say whom, let's just say a podcast is going to be hitting some hard points soon, and we're going to be unlocking it in a really big way. But it's definitely going to be hitting on a bunch of points, and it's going to be awesome when it's brought back. And that's all I'm going to say about that too. So you got a teaser, you've got a bit of a setup for another podcast, which that needs a name, the anime one, and then It's a Podcast, which is the podcast that started it all for me. That was my first solo podcast, and I'll be happy to have that back. I really am. I'm going to be happy to start doing that again. This podcast will always be a generalized podcast, me just spewing out my thoughts about whatever's going on in the world, whatever's going on in my life. A generalized one where I'll talk about probably, I'm sure that a few things game-wise will pop up in this cast, or comic-wise will pop up in this cast. But, I do have other podcasts where I'll be talking more in-depth about games, in-depth about anime, in-depth about comics. So that's a plus too. But I'm hoping you guys are enjoying the Dark Avenger podcast. I love doing these. When I did these on SoundCloud, it was a lot of fun. Unfortunately, that was short-lived for financial reasons, but I'm glad at least I can still do it here on YouTube. I'm having a blast doing it, and I'm doing it because I hope you guys are enjoying it as well. I know that the downside is because I'm not as active on my channel, half the time people don't know these go up unless I share it somewhere else. I really want to work on at least keeping my channel active so that you guys will know when I have a podcast like this one. Well, this is the only one that would be on my channel, but when this podcast comes up. So I'm going to work on maybe putting a few things here or there on this channel just to keep the channel, moving. I want to keep the blood pumping. I don't want it to completely go, fall asleep. I don't want the muscle to fall asleep on this channel. I want to keep it pumping a little bit. So hopefully with this podcast and a few other things I'm planning in the future that I've already done on this channel, we'll keep the channel a little bit active. But if you are listening to this podcast, I would appreciate it if you share it with everybody, so this way everybody will know it's around. Because I know I had to tell a few people I brought episode 1 back, because nobody really was checking on this channel for a bit because it kind of went dark. I want you guys to know there's still a light on Dark Avenger C86. I haven't completely shut the lights off, and I don't plan on completely shutting the lights off. I plan on doing something to keep this channel active every now and again. I do want to promote a few things, though. Mike Spider Slayer went back to Comic Book Corner 2.0, and he started doing a couple of things on there. Brant has started doing videos on his channel, and I'm addicted to both channels right now. I like watching Mike Spider Slayer when he does... Ow, I hit my hand. When he does like DVD and his movie reviews. Brant Musing Mondays, man, I can't tell you guys enough how much I enjoy watching that. And he has videos that he does. I believe he does Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, if I'm not mistaken. I don't want to be wrong, so I'm going to say he does several videos a week. And between the two of them, I've been inspired to maybe do what I wanted to do on this channel the same way, where I'll have something, you know, at least once a week on this channel, just to keep it moving, keep the blood flowing. So you know that Dark Avenger C86 is still, the channel is still, you know, there's still a light on here. So I'm going to work on a few concept ideas. But again, in doing something new means something else that I'm already doing needs to end. And there are a few things that I'm planning on doing, period. I'm not going to say any further than that. I almost put myself right up against the wall in telltaling something for the future, but I am planning on doing little things on this channel just to keep the blood flowing. But again, my heart and my work as far as comic books sticks with Comic Frontline, and my writing, of course, Last Ember Press 529 Studios, and I guess my life in general is more for Dark Avenger C86. And then, of course, the funny skits that we need to start doing again, hopefully very soon, will be on Brooklyn Boys 13. And any video gaming stuff, like, honestly, Frontline Gaming Zone, I've turned into more of my, when I feel like casually doing a walkthrough, or whenever I'm playing a game and I want, you know, to do something, that's where the gameplay will be. So I have many avenues, but I don't want you to forget this avenue right here, Dark Avenger C86, where I personally solo started. And I don't know, I feel like first I took time away from Frontline to really push this channel, and then I kind of let this channel go because I saw that it had been inactive too long, and I went to Frontline, and then I left this channel inactive again. And I have a horrible habit of not wanting something that I have to be inactive, and I have a horrible thing where I want to, you know, where I'll go back and I'll try to fix things. Now, I'm not going to, you know, do what I did last year with Dark Avenger C86. I don't think I'd ever do that again, but I do want you guys to know that I'm active. I'm very bad at leaving things, you know, dead. So I'm going to try to work on something for Dark Avenger C86. It's just not going to be for a bit. It's going to take a little while and a little planning. And once again, it's all about time management. I literally just talked about that when I was talking about making YouTube not being your entire life. But it's all about time management and what I want to put on this channel. And it's going to involve freeing up time somewhere else for it. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. That's all I honestly can say at this moment. I think by the end of this year, I will fall into a good zen of Comic Frontline, Last Ember Press 529 Studios, Zone 4. I can't forget Zone 4 because that's where all these podcasts are going on, and Dark Avenger C86. But I have a lot of good things planned for YouTube and all around. I have a lot of really great ideas and great gears moving as we speak. But right now, my main focus is getting issue 1 of my comic out next month, Celestial Falcon, and then working on issue 2 and getting that issue out as soon as possible. And just that is my main focus right now. My number one focus is my comic book, and then everything else is around it as it's happening. So while I'm working on my comic, I've got all the stuff on YouTube as well. And I gotta tell you guys, I really am glad I have all of you on this journey with me, you know, and all the people I'm working with, I'm glad they're with me on this journey. I mean, Brant has been more than amazing when it comes to a lot of stuff, when it comes to my book and patience with me and putting up with my pain in the ass ways. And everybody on Frontline has been nothing but supportive. Every bit of the way, they've been super supportive of my book, you know, and my work on YouTube and just me in general. And it means a lot when you have a lot of friends that stand behind you, even when you're taking a deep shot in the dark. It means the world when, you know, you literally don't know what you're gonna, you know, what's gonna happen next, but you have people behind you believing in you and standing by you. And I will say this, and I hope I don't embarrass her, but my brother's wife, my sister-in-law, is the one that actually says that she loves my voice for radio and loves all the podcasts I do. And that kind of is what inspired me to not only bring back the Dark Avenger podcast, but to get back into doing a couple of podcasts. And see, that's what matters in life, is having people that stand behind you and keep encouraging you to do something that you enjoy. And I love podcasts since Brant addicted me to it back with Zone 4. And to hear somebody say you have a great voice for radio, you know, I really love listening to your podcast. It's like, okay, then I know I'm doing something right and I need to get my ass back on this ASAP. So if you have family and friends that support you, you know, you could literally seize the world. And at this point in time, with my comic and with all the other stuff I'm doing, I feel that way. I just feel like, you know, I feel like I can do it, you know, and that's what you got to do. You got to go into it with a positive attitude. And I know that that the comic that Brant and I are doing is going to make a huge impact, and I know a lot of people are going to love it. It may take the whole first story arc in order to do it, but I promise you guys, after issue 4, Celestial Falcon is going to be huge. It's going to be humongous. And it's going to just be amazing. And the universe that's going to build up around it and form around it and expand around it is going to be spectacular. And if everything I have planned comes to fruition within the next 5 to 10 years, holy crap, it's going to be beyond amazing. But yeah, so that's episode 2 of the Dark Avenger podcast. And I think I've talked to you guys' ear off enough. If you enjoy it, this is a YouTube podcast, so please definitely feel free to comment below. I love hearing from you guys. I'd love to hear your thoughts on anything I talked about here. If you agree with my statement about YouTube, whether it be free or my statement about dedicating your life, or actually not having to dedicate your life to YouTube, feel free to drop your opinions. I love hearing opinions, whether you agree with me or disagree with me. There's always 2 sides of a coin. Honestly, there are 3 sides sometimes, but not to a coin, but there's 3 sides to everything. But I love hearing from you guys. I'd love to hear your opinions on anything I talked about here. And are you excited about the podcasts that are coming back? Because there's going to be podcasts coming back, and it's going to be tons of fun. So, yep. And until next time, everybody, stay cool. Hopefully you guys hopefully you guys are enjoying the new year. Hopefully everybody's safe. Everybody's happy. That's what I hope for everybody I talk to and everybody who listens. And I hope you guys are happy and you're having a really great, you know, whatever you're up to right now. You're having a great life. That's the most important thing, is to enjoy life and to have a good life and to live life to its fullest. So hopefully all of you are doing that. And hopefully I'll be back soon with episode 3. I'm hoping to do one. Obviously not this week, but I'm hoping within the next week or 2 to have episode 3 up and to keep moving this podcast along. So please do share this with your friends so people know that it's back and that it's around and that hopefully there'll be more soon. Anyway, till then, I'll talk to you guys next time. Oh, hi, Cindy. What are you doing with that thing in your hand? Oh, no. No, come on. You really didn't take that Valentine's Day thing seriously. I mean, that's the skit at the beginning of the episode. You know, I do a little thing, ha 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 ha, I do something funny, and then the music hits, and then I do the podcast, and then I go off. You know, you don't have to do anything drastic now.